Another absolutely cracking win from the North Queensland Cowboys in a great display. Wait, hold on. Does it say the Bulldogs beat the Eels by 30? Are you serious? Wow. Absolutely take my hat off to you, dogs. Jeez, was that cringy? Nah, should be fine. The Dogs won by 30 against the Eels. Are you guys joking? Matty Burton. If you don't know him, like myself, what are you doing? What are you doing? How we didn't pick him up last week at a minimum in round 13. Same as like Reece Robson. We said they're good options, but it's just like, these other guys popped up, the Angus Crichtons, these types of guys. And it's like, well, they're obviously clear guys that have dominated for a long time, and Burton hasn't. And we saw what happened at the start of the year, for example. But if you picked him up sometime in the last like 5 to 6 rounds, you're absolutely loving the display. And now the question is going to be, are they going to be able to continue this going forward? Some of the play last night was absolutely incredible. A few of Burton's little kicks. You obviously got Addo-Carr finishing things off, and do I even want to talk about Carraz after the last 2 weeks of playing him and then not playing him this week? Thank goodness that we get a nice big score out of him, and 56k gainer. But if you happen to play Carraz, Burton, Jackson, King to go along with the other guys in this game, you absolutely killed it. And unfortunately, our teams, people scored my team head to head, for example, all lost a bunch of ranks in this game, considering you had like 4 or 5 kind of types of players here. So well done if you own Burton. An incredible game, 618 kick meters, just had all the time in the world, 3 turnover tackles. That one on Mitch Moses was absolutely hilarious too. So yeah, terrific game from Matty Carraz. We can speak about him, 73. This is what he showed in those first couple of games. And then, of course, we pick him up and he has the 2 quiet ones, a 17 and a 27 when we play him. And the majority of us, the guys that I've spoken to anyway, end up putting him on the emergencies this week. And I had Carraz and also Kohler on the emergencies, which was tough, but it is what it is. We take the 56 and a couple of nice rises the next few weeks, even if he doesn't score incredibly well, and we'll go from there. But well done to Addo-Carr as well. A terrific game, and really deserves his spot in Origin. There's the talk now that Tupou will be playing for Tonga and not New South Wales in Game 2. So it looks like Addo-Carr should get his spot back, and I think he deserves it. It's good to see that he played a terrific game on the weekend again. Just shows where his experience and speed just wins a lot of games. Like he gets to the ball that when a lot of people couldn't. Those ones close to the dead ball line, those ones that they just kick it, they just dribble it through, and he can outrun the other winger, for example. So well done to Addo-Carr. And Jackson, we spoke about a couple of weeks ago as being someone to clearly hold, just had a bit of a rough game. And it's kind of what happened with Tohu Harris as well. So Jackson obviously in a better team this week. Managed to only miss the 2 tackles for 53, 86 meters overall. So 61 in the 80 minutes was incredible. And Maxi King continues to dominate. So 60 in his 58 minutes and 0 negatives there. The 1 offload, 39 tackles, 172 meters. Just incredible. So happy for him to get that crack this year. And continues to make money, up to 589 now. And if he keeps this up, he'll be 700k before we know it. If he continues to average anywhere in the mid-50s over the next section there, he'll be 700 really quickly, and it might end up being a keeper depending how they play him. It looks like this 13 role could be the way forward for the Dogs, especially in a game like this where they win. There's really no reason why you would move him elsewhere. I personally don't think so. I'm not a coach, but usually when your team's going well, it is when you would stick to the lineup that you've got. Jackson gets to play his 80 minutes through an edge. And this game, Tavita Pangai Jr. was back, and they still played Kingy through the middle for big minutes. And they had Raymond Fatala-Mariner coming off the bench for big minutes still as well. So they managed to really play this out well, get good minutes across the park for all of their middles, and do a great job. So that was that. And Averillo, really cool to see him. He had that one blunder, which was the catching goal, which would have been a 7 tackle set, and unfortunately just touches it and goes dead, obviously, for a dropout. So other than that, played really, really good. 2 tries, 130 meters, did really, really, really good. We got I can't even say his name again. Paolo, as we should be saying. Loving all the commentators try to say. It's still my hardest one for me to say for some reason. So that's that anyway. Waddell played the big minutes. Junior with 53 was nice. 4 offloads for him. We had Shawnee Lane 51. Isaiah Papali'i with 50 in his 57 minutes. So again, just that the lack of minutes on through the middle, I think hurts him a little bit. So I think that for anyone that owns him, it's obviously great for me that doesn't own him, that he's down the 31 this week, and he'll have a higher break even after 2 lighter weeks in a row. I think they need to get him back to the edge for him to score incredibly well. I'd probably steer clear of him as a captaincy option over the next bit until he gets back on that edge, because he has that more of a chance of scoring tries than he does through the middle, for example. Reedy with 48, I was having so many nightmares at halftime, or just before halftime when he was 22 at the half. It was like, oh, I can feel 40. Ugh. It's making me feel yuck. Bring him in this week and they get pumped, and yeah, not much happening for him on the offensive side of the ball. 3 penalties, a couple of missed tackles there. Thankfully, got the 48 tackles to save him and get the 48 points, but still yuck. Like we're paying obviously for him to get a 50, 55 average, but you hope for better. He hasn't hit under 50 in a little while, and of course he does when I bring him back in. So sorry to all those guys that own him now, or have picked up a bunch of his great scores the last month or so. Very much my fault. Moses with 43, gee, that would have hurt anyone who owns him. Madison, the 37 minutes. So yeah, in a game where they got pumped as well, there's no point really overdoing it with his minutes. And from here on, the next couple of weeks, he'll really dominate. Neg 8K this week is good if you're looking to buy him. If you own him already, which a decent percentage do, then not really happy with the 42, but better than a bunch of others he scored the same points that Tohu Harris scored in the full, pretty much the full 80. So you'll take that. If you brought in RFM for Tyler Mariner there, you've got a 42 and a 61 minutes, which is pretty much exactly what I called. I said 60 minutes, didn't think he would play off the bench, but came on at 20 and played the rest of it for 42 points. It's pretty well his normal PPM. He got the 4 tackle breaks in the offload, which is great sign. So him running the ball with force and looking to offload the ball was great. Got Campbell Gillard with 40 there. Marshall King, a lower score from him. Got the early mark from having a great win for the Dogs. Penasini with that try. My goodness, if there was anyone watching that closely, how much of a bullet pass that was from Moses. He almost butchered it, to be fair. He was just like, oh shit, last second, just threw the mid out and caught it. Pretty much a little bobble, but one-handed catch there for Penasini. So I'm glad he did catch that. It went through untouched, but generally for him, a solid game. 3 tackle breaks, the offload, 100 meters, 11 tackles. So in a game where they got pumped, for a center like Penasini to get 39, we're really happy with that. And Brownie only had a couple of good runs there in the back end, 15, 20 meter runs, and the 26 tackles is pretty normal. Obviously a few negatives in there and no real attacking stats. So not ideal for him. The neg 2K after his big performance the week, 2 weeks prior. Brownie's still a hold if you own him. I wouldn't be looking to pick him up right away. He's just carrying a little bit of an injury at the moment. So that is that. But we moved to Pengo Jr. If you're holding on to him, I think this will be the minutes he gets going forward, 50, 55, somewhere there through the middle. And, obviously a couple of offloads, the good run meters, tackles are a bit down, but 3, 6, 10, 12 in negatives was a bit annoying for him. Sivo, it was good to see Micah come back and play really well. Did what he needed to do, or what he could do in a well-beaten side. Got his 130 meters, a couple of tackle breaks, the offload. So did his thing. Just good to see him back, to be honest. And Simonson, for those that were interested in him, picked up the 19. Obviously, just a tough game for any outside back in a team where you're getting pumped. So for him to get 19 is what it is. Still ran the 146 meters, got the 4 tackle breaks, but the couple of errors and the couple of missed tackles didn't do him any good. But that was that. We had the head injury assessment. Sorry, head injury? Patola? No, did he hurt his elbow? No, that was a game before. Patola got the head injury assessment. But that's that with that review, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Had a bit of a laugh at the start. Just thought I'd get you all involved early. Anyway, again, hope you enjoyed that. Subscribe, like, appreciate you all. Catch you in the next one.